Hi everyone, my name is Chef Fernando Mojica with LearnToCook.com. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to be preparing a really cool dish today. We're going to make stuffed chicken breast, and we're going to do the stuffing made out of apples and raisins. And after that, we're going to tie it out with a little bit of a nice sauce that we're going to make from the pan that we work with. So what we're going to do today, the ingredients we're going to need is going to be some apple, which we diced before. We're going to need some Swanson chicken broth. We're also going to need some Sanderson Farms chicken breast. We're going to need some sun-made raisins, olive oil, we're going to need Dijon mustard, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our filling. So for that, we're going to heat up our saute pan. I'm going to add the oil to it and heat up the oil. Then once that's nice and hot, we're going to add the apple to it, and we're going to let the apple cook a little bit. So once we added the apple, we're going to add the raisins, and we're going to let the apple and the raisins cook until they're nice and soft. So it's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes. So once these are in the pan, we're going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And you want to be careful here because you don't want to over-season it, because we're going to season these, which is going to be our filling. But then we also, before we cook the chicken, we're going to season that as well. So you want to be careful of not to adding too much seasoning, but you want to make sure that it is seasoned properly. All right, so we cook our stuffing, which we made with raisins and apples. We remove it from the pan. We kept the pan, which is very important, as I mentioned before. We're going to use that same pan throughout the dish to build flavor, okay? So we kept the pan. We cooled those down. Now we have a chicken breast, and we actually split the chicken breast in half. We call it butterflying. So you grab the chicken, you split it in half, but don't go all the way, so you end up with a seam in the middle. Now that we flatten it up, and say it's about an 1/8 of an inch thick, we're going to go ahead and season it with salt and pepper. And we're going to season both sides, okay? I'm going to flip it around, season both sides. And then, as you can see, this side is a lot more smoother. That's where the top of the breast was. So you want to keep that facing down. You want to put the stuffing on the inside of the breast. So I'm going to go ahead and put our stuff in here. The next step is we're going to go ahead and roll it. And we call this technical term is that roulade, just rolling it over to enclose the stuffing, okay? So you don't want to go too thick, because that's going to prevent the meat from cooking, okay? So you just kind of want to go a little bit. So once that's ready, we're going to get rid of the plastic. And we're going to use our butcher twine that we cut, all right? So we're going to put the 3 pieces of twine, the breast right in the middle of that. And we're just going to go ahead and tie it up with the butcher's twine, okay? So once we have our butcher twine, we're going to put the breast right on top of that, and we're going to go ahead and just tighten it up. We're going to wrap it up. This is going to, again, keep all the stuffing inside the chicken breast, okay? So now that we have these, we're going to walk over to the stove. We're going to warm up our saute pan. Remember, the same saute pan that we used to cook our stuffing, okay? So we didn't throw it, we didn't wash it, we didn't clean it. We just removed the stuffing, and we're going to use that exact same one, because that's going to add a lot more flavor. So we're going to go ahead and sear the chicken on all sides. We're going to warm up the saute pan. We're going to warm up the oil. And then we're going to place the chicken skin side down. So once the skin side down, it's nice and golden, we're going to turn it around. And we're going to get all of the skin of the chicken, okay? So you want to kind of tilt it a little bit, make sure that that side is nice and golden. We're going to flip it around again, make sure that's nice and golden. And then once it's nice and golden all over, we're going to actually go ahead and throw this in the oven for about 15 minutes until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. And then we're going to remove that and finish up our sauce. Okay, so we removed the chicken out of the oven. It reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees. So we got that out of the oven. We took it out of the pan with letting it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. What we mean by rest is you take it out of the heat, you let it sit at room temperature. This is going to do two things. This is going to continue carry over cooking, so it's going to continue to cook, but also it's going to make sure that all those juices that were going to kind of absorb back into the meat. So when you cut it, you don't got all the juices flowing out, so those juices are self-contained into the meat. When you eat it, it's nice and juicy. So the other thing we've done is you want to be very careful with this step. We're still using the same pan we used from the beginning. So after we remove the chicken, we drain the oil, and only the oil shouldn't scrape the pan. So now we're going to finish off our sauce, okay? So for the sauce, we're going to deglaze the pan. It's still nice and hot. We're going to deglaze it with a little bit of chicken stock. And again, what we mean by deglazing is we're putting a cold liquid into a hot pan. This is going to get rid of all the sediments that were stuck to the bottom. This is why you don't want to scrape it, because all of that is flavor. So once you throw in the stock, that's going to actually get those sediments to release themselves from the pan. So you're going to put that, reduce the flame a little bit. You're going to add a little bit of the balsamic vinegar that we use. So a little bit of Dijon mustard, you're going to stir it. This is going to make a quick Dijon mustard pan sauce. At this point, you want to just kind of let it sit there for a little bit over low flame, just until it reaches that syrupy consistency. And all the ingredients are incorporating to each other. While that's going on, it's going to be, again, simmering for about 4 or 5 minutes. While that's going on, we can actually go ahead and finish slicing our chicken. So the sauce is going, we're going to slice up the chicken. A couple of real quick notes. You want to make sure that, since this is ready to eat, you want to make sure that you either wear gloves or you use utensils so that you don't touch the ready to eat food. That's just going to prevent any possible cross-contamination. So just going to go ahead, this is a stuffed chicken, like I said. So we're going to go ahead and slice them off. As thick as you want. I try to go about 1/4 of an inch and make sure that all the pieces have a little bit of stuffing inside them. You want to be careful here so that they hold its shape, okay? You don't want to overdo it and so have all the stuffing fall out. So once this is ready, we're going to go ahead and plate them up, and we're going to actually use a little bit of that polenta that we previously made, and we're going to plate that up with the chicken, the stuffing, and a little bit of the sauce that we made. So now we're just going to drizzle some of that sauce right on top of the chicken, the balsamic Dijon sauce that we made on the pan. And then we're just going to garnish it with a little bit of parsley at the end, just for some added color, a lot of flavors. And as you can see, this is a really simple recipe to make, really, and a lot of flavor to it, a lot of different approach to the regular stuffed chicken breast. So I hope you enjoyed making this recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for joining us. And I hope to see you again next time. Again, my name is Chef Fernando with LearnToCook.com.
Well, thanks for joining us today at LearnToCook.com. Be sure to comment and to subscribe. Also visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great day, and thank you.